Welcome to the Wednesday Team Prosperity Weekly Wednesday meeting. This is a meeting like we always talk about. We dive directly into our business and hopefully find some things that we can immediately take away from here, implement for some positive ripple effects. August 4th, we've got a couple more weeks, I guess, of summer still before school starts. And guys, for our business, a lot of industries and businesses around the time that school starts until right around Thanksgiving. So much of a great time period to get so much done. We're going to start a 12-week year during that time. You can really get realistically a year's worth of work done in terms of results during that quarter. So make sure you're dialed in during that quarter and make sure that you're executing during that quarter to extract all the value that you possibly can. Like I said, we will be starting another 12-week year, August 16th. So 2 weeks from this past Monday, we're going to start. And if you want to join in, it's an excellent opportunity to be around other people who are trying to build the business, hear some of their successes, their failures, what they're fixing within not only their business model, but themselves. There's really no downside to the 12-week year. And really the 12-week year is about creating that vision, developing a plan of action, keeping score, setting up the processes and control, regaining control of your time. This is so important because it shows you what to do, what not to do. And then finally, how to stay accountable and committed. And if you're in this with us, we have the WHAM groups every week, share our scores, talk about the week. I'm hoping that whoever participates for this one, they're gonna, whether it's their first time or their seventh time, that this is gonna be an explosive opportunity for the participants. We were talking before the meeting started about, you can have a great product, a service, a business opportunity, but unless you are going to create infrastructure and management to give people a fighting chance to be successful, their chance of success is very weak. So we're going to talk about that this week. But before we get there, last week, before that, we had talked about LinkedIn the Monday before. Last Monday, we talked about Facebook in terms of the platform itself, how to create inbound demand, using stories of transformation, which is so important in a platform like Facebook, what to do for a post, the importance of a great image. We talked about, the amount of scrolling people do. First thing they're going to stop for is that image. And then going through the 1, 2, 3 steps of a great and successful post. It's a good one to go back to. It's got some framework for post for you or your partners as they come in. This is one that you can revisit. And this week, like I talked about a minute ago, we're going to be diving into not only, what our new partners as well as ourselves need to be successful, but also how top performers get ahead from everybody stuck in the middle or those people on the other side, which are classified as low performers. So what are we going to do? And this is one of the most important things that we have to understand in terms of ourselves, but also building a business. We know we need to understand what we're going to do, and we need the other side as they're coming in to have a plan of action. What are they going to do? And that encompasses a number of things. But if we don't understand what we're going to do and why we're going to do that, how we're going to do that, then the chance of failure is very, very, very high. This is a continuation of what I try to implement all the time. We have a vision, and if you are your partner's vision, they look at that vision and there's no excitement. It doesn't propel them to have movement and action. It's the wrong vision. They need to go back to the starting block and revisit that vision, because the vision's going to be exciting enough that you're going to create a strategy. Hey, this is how I'm going to get my vision, create it from a vision into reality. The biggest gap that a business or an individual see is between strategy and execution. You can have a great vision that propels you. You can have a strategy and a plan of action created to reach that vision. However, if there's no execution, well, then we never get to the success. Now, the reason the success circles back around to the vision, because your life's going to change. And as you find success in this business and other things that are going on in your life, your vision's going to change. And that's going to start the process all over again. So this is an aerial view of what you as an individual and you as a builder needs to understand. The vision is so important because, like we talked about, it's laid out to create, emotion, excitement, and to propel you to have movement and activity. The vision can be, a number of different things in terms of, we can have a 12-week vision. and we can have, let's say, a 36-month vision, and we can have a vision for how we actually want our entire life from this point going forward to actually look and mold into. So the vision is going to be the top priority, because if I'm interviewing somebody, they have no vision for their life, they have no goals, they have nothing they want to accomplish, then what's the motivation for them coming in to do anything? The vision is lacking, or it's not there. And it has to be crystal clear, guys. Has to be something that we can put ourselves there in the future, feel it with emotion, and it's got to be crystal clear. You know, being rich is not a crystal clear vision. Making X amount per month, that's a crystal clear vision. You know, wanting to move to a better location or buy a bigger house, those are general. It has to be crystal clear. What exactly do you want, and how are you going to get there? Because without a crystal clear vision, this is what ends up looking like. We're operating in a space where we're flying blind, a space of blackness or darkness. And if there's no crystal clear vision, trust me, there's going to be no activity and action on the backside. So once we have that vision in place, then for ourselves and our partners, we've got to be able to create a plan of action. So we understand what we want. The plan's going to be, you know, the blueprint. How do we actually get there? And when we're creating our plan and our strategy, once it's in place, there's no more procrastination. You've got to execute. We can't just stay in planning, preparing processes all the time. That's just a veiled way to procrastinate, to keep us from having to do the things that we don't want to do, which is execute. And that's actually make it happen. So once you start to execute and make it happen, you know, everything starts to come together. You find the successes that you're looking for, and that's probably, like we talked about, going to change your life, alter your vision, start that cycle all over again. One of the greatest ways that I'm kind of understanding that if you want to manage large groups of people, you need to get them understanding time blocking, because if somebody comes into the day and they've got, you know, they got maybe a few direct appointments, but the rest of the day is left up to them, they don't get much done. So I've got a video put in the Facebook group. It's on the YouTube channel as well. It's a time blocking 101 guide for new agents. And really everything should be blocked for a day and a time, even things down to like creating a social media post. Now, once everything's in place, because you have blocked specific times for those activities, you're going to get more done out of the day. Your agents are going to get more done out of the day than they normally would left up to, you know, their own selves. And then they also understand, and we understand, that you can be flexible. If I've got a social media post time block for, you know, a time when a client wants to do a direct meeting, of course I'll move that. But the more that we block, the more that we get done. Without time blocking, our agents fall into like a rabbit hole of time in terms of, you know, the hours go by, the days go by, the weeks go by, and then eventually the months go by, and they're not getting much accomplished. And if there's white space on the calendar, they're not seeing income recognition coming through, they're not going to be excited about this business. You have to find something on a daily basis that you're excited about, and that can change. But overall, if you are time blocking and you are really, you know, dialed in to getting the most out of the day, then a lot of things happen, including you start to outwork your competition, gain advantages over them. And you got to keep score. This is one of the most important things that I think people neglect, because without keeping score, without reflecting on a period of time, usually, you know, a day or a week at a time, we don't understand how we're doing. Are we in a downtrend, an uptrend? Is our business flatlined? Well, if we're keeping scores in certain metrics, it's very easy to see, and we can build on momentum. We can reset if some bad things are happening. Without a scoring system and without a reflection on that scoring system, we're going to fall short of our goals. And then if we're going to keep score, you know, the ability to be accountable to those scores, reflect on those scores, if we share them with ourselves, or we even go beyond that and start sharing it with other people, that's going to be the glue that holds all of this together for your agents. And then, you know, from that point, it's a degree of just staying committed, determined, and focused. There's a lot of ways we can get distracted. There's a lot of things new agents can do to get distracted, but we can also preemptively overcome some of those things with what we've talked about, including, you know, things like time blocking. You've got to get a commitment. You know, a lot of people, you know, they want guarantees from the outside world, but they very rarely make guarantees to themselves. So we're looking for self-guarantees. And we're also looking for people that are coming into our business to make commitments, guarantees, because if we're going to meet somebody halfway and there's a commitment, some good things are probably going to happen. If that wasn't set up early on, the ability for them to drift off is a lot greater because you guys haven't come to that agreement of the commitment to both sides. And then finally, consistency. Being able to do something well over a short period of time, lots of people can accomplish that. The ability to do something well over a long period of time, in sports, that creates like a Hall of Famer. In our business model, that creates, cash flow assets, that creates passive income. So understand what you're doing now and the consistency that you put into this business is going to get rewarded on the backside. And you got to be tough. You got to keep pushing through times. A business building from the ground floor up is not easy. It's just you in the beginning. You got to do everything. But then as things start to mature and you start to gain traction in your business, those tough times in the beginning that you overcame, by being able to go through that, can help guide other agents. As they're going to go through that period of time. They come in, they're real high, excited about the business. And then gradually, as they know, it's going to take work, they start to get through those same kind of cycles that we went through. And if we're able to push through, stay positive, and teach other people how to, your business will be greatly rewarded for that. So the same way that we were taught in school how to construct a story is really how you have to understand how to construct your business. And when you look at some of this stuff, some of the what, I'm surprised at the number of people in this business that don't fully understand the compensation plan. You have to understand the compensation plan. Your agents have to understand the compensation plan. How do we get paid? And then the who is, we've been talking about this, dialing into specific personas, dealing with certain types of people, understanding where they are, understanding messages that are going to resonate with those people, being able to deliver value specific to them is really an area where people get dialed into. And once they start to dominate these personas, their business really starts to take off. You cannot be everything to everyone. You've got to get a persona dialed in. You got to understand how to talk to these people. And then once you've got your persona built, you got to get your message out. You can't run a successful business if people don't know you're in business. You can't be the secret agent hiding from the rest of the world. You got to get your message out. And really, what is your message? Well, you got to understand that your message is one of help. You can help people. Once you understand your persona, who you're going after with the right message, your message is about helping them, whatever it is, helping them build their business, helping them to get in a better financial picture, whatever it might be. You've got the combination of two very valuable things that, kind of couples our business model. The combination of technology and education is very explosive in terms of what we do, because the combination of both of those things creates disruption in the marketplace. And that disruption creates innovation. And that innovation for both our clients as well as our partners unlocks new value. And that's important. If you're not innovating, if you're not creating new value, then your ability to come in and either create new market share space or take existing market share is, it's altered. We have to learn how to work smarter and not harder. And we're going to talk about this in a minute, but top performers, they're usually working less hours than the middle performers and the lower performers, but they're getting more done because they're working smarter. And that's one of the most important things that we can teach our agents and ourselves, how to work smarter, how to be efficient, how to welcome automation into our business. And the idea is to keep learning, keep learning as a team, keep learning as individuals to make our business better. The better we make our business, the greater we create a generational ripple throughout, that portfolio of digital agencies that we're creating. The easier it's going to be for us to get to that point where we can back away with everything in place. So getting ahead in a competitive world, there's a lot of things going on right now, guys, with the amount of technologies out there. It's kind of reshaped the landscape of a lot of industries. And so when you're looking at sales from a general point of view, then this is how you get ahead. You get ahead by doing something every single day that your competition either flat, doesn't do or they refuse to do. So you get a competitive edge, like I said, doing the things that others don't or won't do. So let's look at, we're going to close this meeting out over the next 10 minutes or so. with really examining how your agency is going to shake out, because the better that you can get at pushing people into being high performers, the easier it's going to be for you to build a business that's going to start to give you that income that you're looking for and give you the exit strategy that you're looking for as well. So top performers, 20%, and then bottom performers, 20%. But look at this, 60%. There's so many people just stuck in the middle as average performers. So, which ones are we? And, where do we want to be? And same thing with our partners. If they come in, if they want to be a high performer, well, the easiest way to be a high performer is start to mimic high performers. The difference between middle, average performers, low performers, and the top performers is this stuff. So number one, lead generation. A top performer knows where their leads are coming from. That doesn't mean that they've all got great marketing automation out there. It could even be down to the cold call, knowing how many calls they have to make to generate the type of appointments they need, whatever that ratio and breakdown might look like. But no matter what you're doing for leads, you understand where your leads are coming from and how to create those leads, where the average and the bottom performers, they're going into each day, each week, and each month, just kind of drifting through, hoping the lead generation is going to come. Top performers, they execute every single day, guys. And that's a difference between middle and bottom performers, because we talked about this a minute ago. Many times the top performers are putting in less hours per day than the other two groups, but they're getting more done. Why? Because they're dialed into those working hours. They know exactly what to do. They're there to execute. They're there to, make things happen. Also, top performers, they don't get things confused or twisted. They're there to make money. They're not there to make friends. And that doesn't mean that they're not nice and cordial to the prospects, but they understand the reason why at that moment in time, what the job is. The job is to close sales and make money from a sales or an educator's perspective. Top performers understand that. Top performers also know how to establish authority. Authority comes from a lot of different ways, but authority basically means that we are helping the other side understand that we are the best person for them to talk to help solve their issues based on a number of variable factors. Top performers know how to establish authority. Bottom and middle performers just don't. Top performers know how to be assertive and not aggressive. This is a fine line, guys. This is one of the hardest lines to walk, because you have to be confident and assertive as a top performer, but you can't be aggressive and pushy. And so, like I said, it's a fine line to walk, but top performers understand how to walk it very well. And you have to bring confidence into what you do, because confidence allows us, as top performers, to lead the conversations in meetings versus being led from the other side. And top performers know how to disqualify. So those middle and bottom performers, they're trying to qualify as many people into this bucket as possible. And then the top performers from moment one are looking for a reason to disqualify the other side. And the earlier on in the process they find that disqualifier, they have no problems letting that prospect go immediately from that point, versus other people that try to, even though they found a disqualification, continue the conversation thinking, I might be able to change it, or I might be able to reroute or fit this person in to what we do. Not pre-qualifying, but disqualifying. Top performers know how to disqualify. Top performers also are obsessed with the next step, guys. If you're getting off your phone calls, you're getting off your online meetings, and there's no next step established, then that's, it's a failure on the back end. Everything has to be connected. We're going to A to B to C. We're going from meeting 1 to meeting 2 to meeting 3, whatever it might be. They're obsessed with the next step. That's how they organize everything. Whereas the middle, bottom performers, they just kind of let things go, and whatever happens, happens. Top performers also know it's a game. You can't get upset about lost sales, somebody doesn't get approved, whatever it might be. Understand statistically that some are going to be wins, some are going to be losses, but overall, if you execute daily, top performers know it's a game, and the sales, the revenue, and the income are going to be there. Top performers also, they enjoy what they're doing. They enjoy the game of sales. They enjoy, helping other people. They enjoy making the sales. They go into the day pretty passionate about what they're doing. And that allows all the other stuff that we talked about to really come to fruition, because It's the mindset, guys. Everything has to be dialed in with the mindset. And your mindset as a top performer is not to come in and be average or compete with the field. A top performer wants to dominate. I'm not talking about dominating every hour, every day of the week, but when we're dialed in, when we know that we're supposed to be working, we're there to dominate, and we're there to do the best possible job that we can, make the most possible money that we can for ourselves and the company, knowing that our product and service that we offer does nothing but good for the other side. So that's really all I want to talk about this week, guys, is really putting yourself in a position to understand what you need to be successful, plus how to separate yourself as a top performer. And then once that's understood, how to build agencies around that.